Text message glowed on the screen. I love you. She doesn't understand me. Let's run away together. Abeni stared at the words, her hands trembling as tears rolled down her cheeks. The phone belonged to Kunal, her fiancé. The message was to her sister, Moryo. She let the phone slip from her fingers onto the bed. Her chest heaved with sobs that echoed through the empty bedroom. She grabbed a pillow and pressed it against her face, her whole body shaking. But when she lifted her face, there were no tears in her eyes. Just cold calculation. She picked up the phone again and took screenshots. 1, 2, 3. She sent them to herself and deleted the evidence from his sent folder. Then she placed the phone exactly where she had found it, face down on the nightstand. Abeni walked to the mirror and studied her reflection. She needed to look broken, defeated, weak. She smiled. Everything is going according to plan. 6 months earlier, Abeni had stood in her kitchen making breakfast when Moryo walked in wearing her new dress. Not a similar dress, her exact dress. The one she had bought last week and worn only once. Morning, sis, Moryo said, twirling. You like it? I found it in your closet, hope you don't mind. Abeni forced a smile. It looks good on you. Thanks, you know what? It actually looks better on me. My body fits it more. Moryo poured herself some juice. You should just give it to me. You have so many clothes anyway. This was not new. Moryo had been taking her things since they were children. Her toys, her school supplies, her birthday gifts. Their parents always said the same thing. She's your younger sister. Share with her. But Moryo is 26 now. Abeni is 29. When would it stop? Actually, I am planning to wear that dress this weekend, Abeni said carefully. Moryo's face changed. You're so selfish. You have everything and you can't even let me borrow one dress. I'm not saying you can't borrow it. I just need it this weekend. Forget it, Moryo stormed out wearing the dress. She never returned it. 2 weeks later, Abeni brought her friend Kioma home for lunch. Kioma is funny and kind, the type of friend who showed up when you needed help without being asked. Your sister is so cool, Kioma said later that evening over the phone. She added me on Instagram. Within a month, Kioma and Moryo were inseparable. They went shopping together. They posted pictures together. When Abeni calls Kioma to hang out, she is always busy with Moryo. At Sunday dinner, their mother beamed. It's so beautiful how close you girls are. And now your friends are becoming friends too. That's what family should be. Abeni said nothing. Then came the incident with her job opportunity. Abeni had interviewed for a marketing position at one of the biggest firms in Lagos. She told only Moryo about it because she wanted to share her excitement with someone. That's amazing, Moryo had said, hugging her. You're going to get it, I know you will. 3 days later, Abeni got a call from the HR manager. I'm sorry, Miss Abeni, but we've decided to go with another candidate. Your sister actually. She came in yesterday with a very impressive portfolio. We didn't know you two were related until she mentioned it. Abeni sat frozen. My sister interviewed for the same position. Yes, she said you told her about the opening. She was very qualified. I hope there's no family tension over this. She seemed worried about that. When Abeni confronted Moryo, her sister didn't even look guilty. You said the company is great, so I applied. Why are you angry? You don't own the company. Moryo shrugged. Besides, I got the job. That means I am better qualified. I told you about it in confidence. And I used the information. That's called being smart, Abeni. Not everyone wants to just sit around and wait for things to fall in their lap. Their mother overheard the argument. Moryo, that isn't nice. But Abeni, you should be happy for your sister. She got a good job. Stop being bitter. Abeni realized then that nothing would ever change. Not with Moryo, not with their parents. She started watching, really watching. Every time Abeni mentioned liking something, Moryo wanted it. Every time Abeni made a new friend, Moryo inserted herself until the friend is hers. Every success, every opportunity, every small happiness. Moryo didn't just want similar things. She wanted the exact things that belonged to Abeni. The final piece fell into place on a Tuesday afternoon. Abeni had stopped by Moryo's apartment to drop off a book their mother had asked her to deliver. The door was open, so she walked in. Morio was on the phone in her bedroom, and Abeni could hear every word. I'm telling you, Shade, anything she has, I deserve it more. She's not even that special. People just favor her because she's older. Morio laughed. Even her future husband, when she finds him, I bet I could take him too. Men are so easy. Abeni stood in the hallway, the book in her hands forgotten. I'm serious, Morio continued. She thinks she's so perfect, so untouchable. I'm going to show her. Everything she has should have been mine from the beginning. Abeni left without announcing herself. She got into her car and sat there for 20 minutes. Then she started making phone calls. Finding Kunal was easier than expected. She joined 3 online dating groups and created a profile. Beautiful photos, successful career, family-oriented values, the kind of profile that would attract a certain type of man. Kunal messaged her within 2 days. His profile showed a handsome man in expensive suits standing next to luxury cars. His bio said he was a businessman specializing in import and export. He posted pictures from expensive restaurants and hotels. Abeni did her research. The cars were rentals. The suits were borrowed. The restaurants were places he went to once and photographed extensively to create content for weeks. She dug deeper. 2 women had reported him online. One said he had borrowed 3 million naira for a business deal and disappeared. Another said he had convinced her to invest in a fake company. There were screenshots, evidence, warnings. Perfect. Abeni crafted her approach carefully. She responded to his messages, but not too quickly. She seemed interested but cautious. She let him work for her attention. Their first phone call lasted 3 hours. Kunal was charming and smooth. He knew exactly what to say and when to say it. I've been hurt before, he told her. Women see my success and think I'm just a wallet, but I'm looking for something real, someone who values me for who I am. Abeni almost laughed. Instead, she said softly, I understand. I've been hurt too. People always want something from me. Then we understand each other. They met for coffee the following Saturday. Kunal arrived 30 minutes late in an obviously rented car. He apologized profusely, blamed traffic, and ordered the most expensive items on the menu. Abeni watched him, studied him, calculated. Tell me about your business, she said. His eyes lit up. He talked for 45 minutes straight about deals and investments and opportunities. None of it made sense. It was all vague promises and grand visions with no concrete details. But Abeni nodded and smiled and asked interesting questions. By the end of the date, Kunal was hooked. They dated for 6 weeks before she invited him home. I want you to meet my family, she told him on the phone. My parents and my sister, they're very important to me. Of course, babe, I'd love to meet them. I want them to know I'm serious about you. The Sunday dinner was carefully planned. Abeni wore a beautiful dress and made sure the house looked perfect. She cooked Kunal's favorite foods, which she had learned by paying attention to his social media posts. Her parents arrived first. Her father is a retired bank manager, stern but fair. Her mother is warm and talkative, the type who believed the best in everyone. Morio arrived last, deliberately. She liked making entrances. Abeni watched her sister's face when Kunal opened the door. Watched the way Morio's eyes traveled over his expensive watch, his designer shoes, his confident smile. You must be Morio, Kunal said, extending his hand. Abeni talks about you all the time. She says you two are very close. We are, Morio said, holding his hand a second too long. She's told me so much about you too. Dinner was perfect. Kunal charmed their parents with stories about his business. He complimented their mother's dress. He discussed politics with their father. He was attentive to Abeni, pulling out her chair, refilling her drink, touching her hand. And through it all, Abeni saw Morio watching, calculating, wanting. After dinner, Abeni made an announcement. Kunal and I have something to tell you. She looked at him and smiled. We're engaged. He proposed last week. Their mother screamed with joy. Their father shook Kunal's hand firmly. Morio's smile froze on her face for just a moment before she recovered. Congratulations, Morio said, hugging Abeni, but her eyes were on Kunal. Over the next 2 weeks, Abeni posted pictures of Kunal constantly. Them at dinner, them at the movies, them shopping. She wrote captions about how blessed she was, how God had finally sent her a good man, how she had never been happier. Every post was bait. And Morio was biting. Her sister started showing up at Ebony's apartment unannounced. Just wanted to say hello. She brought food. I made extra, thought you and Cunnel might want some, she called frequently. Just checking in on my big sister. But Ebony noticed the way Morio dressed when she knew Cunnel would be there. The makeup, the perfume, the low necklines. She noticed the way Morio laughed too loudly at Cunnel's jokes, the way she found reasons to touch his arm, the way she stayed long after it was appropriate. And she noticed the way Cunnel responded. At first he was polite but distant, but Morio was beautiful and persistent. She praised him constantly. She acted impressed by everything he said. She made him feel important. Men like Cunnel needed that kind of attention. 3 weeks after the engagement announcement, Ebony pretended to go out for groceries. Instead, she parked down the street and watched her apartment building. 30 minutes later, Morio arrived. She stayed for 2 hours. When she left, her lipstick was smudged and her hair was messy. Ebony sat in her car and breathed slowly. She had expected this, planned for this, but seeing it still created a knot in her stomach. Not because she loved Cunnel, she didn't, she had never loved him. But because her own sister could betray her so easily. She waited until Morio's car disappeared before returning home. Cunnel was on the couch scrolling through his phone. He looked up when she entered. "Hey babe, you were gone long." The store was crowded. She set down the grocery bags. "Did anyone come by?" "Just your sister. She dropped off some food." "That was nice of her." "Yeah, she's cool. You're lucky to have such a caring sister." Ebony smiled. "I am." That night while Cunnel was in the shower, she checked his phone. The password was easy to guess, his birthday backward. The messages to Morio started 2 weeks ago. First innocent thanks for the food, then compliments on her cooking, then jokes, then flirtation. And then today. "I can't stop thinking about you." "This is wrong, she's my sister." "I know, but I've never felt this way before." "Meet me tomorrow, please." Ebony put the phone down carefully. Everything was accelerating faster than she had expected, but that was fine. She could adjust. Over the next month, Ebony began to change her behavior. She became clingy, needy. She called Cunnel constantly. She questioned where he was going and who he was with. She cried over small things. She accused him of not loving her anymore. Every behavior designed to push him away. And toward Morio. Her sister, meanwhile, was always available, understanding, sympathetic. "I don't know what's wrong with Ebony lately," Cunnel complained to Morio during one of her visits. He didn't know Ebony was listening from the bedroom. "She's changed. She's not the woman I fell in love with." "Maybe she's stressed," Morio said softly. "Planning a wedding is hard, but you deserve someone who appreciates you, Cunnel, someone who makes you happy. Someone like you." There was a pause. "I shouldn't say this," Morio whispered, "but yes, someone like me." Ebony heard them kiss. She had to grip the doorframe to steady herself, not from heartbreak, from rage. But she swallowed it down. Not yet. The next day she confronted Cunnel with tears in her eyes. "Are you cheating on me?" "What? No, why would you think that? You're always on your phone, you're distant. You don't look at me the way you used to." "Babe, you're being paranoid, I love you." "Then let me see your phone." "That's crazy, you don't trust me." "If you have nothing to hide, show me your phone." They argued for an hour. Cunnel refused. Ebony cried harder. Finally, he stormed out. He went straight to Morio's apartment. Ebony knew, because she had put a tracking app on his phone weeks ago. She waited 2 hours before calling Morio. "Have you seen Cunnel?" she asked, her voice breaking. "We had a fight and he left, I'm worried." "No, I haven't seen him," Morio lied smoothly. "I'm sure he just needs time to cool off. He'll come back." "You're right, thank you, sis. I don't know what I'd do without you." "That's what sisters are for." Ebony hung up and allowed herself a cold smile. 3 days later, she accidentally discovered the messages. She made sure Morio was visiting when it happened. Kunal had gone to the bathroom, leaving his phone on the coffee table. Abeni picked it up, entered the password she had memorized, and opened his messages. She gasped loudly. "What's wrong?" Moryo asked from the kitchen. Abeni didn't answer. She scrolled through the messages, her hands shaking. Tears filled her eyes. Real tears this time, because even though she had orchestrated this, seeing the words still hurt. "I love you. She doesn't understand me. Let's run away together. I want to be with you." Moryo walked into the room. "Abeni, what is it?" Abeni looked up at her sister, tears streaming down her face. "You're sleeping with my fiancé." Moryo's face went pale. "What are you talking about?" "Don't lie to me." Abeni thrust the phone toward her. "It's all here, everything." Moryo read the messages. For a moment, guilt flickered across her face, but then it hardened into defiance. "You weren't making him happy," she said. "So you decided to take him, like you take everything else." "I didn't take anything. He came to me because you pushed him away with your insecurity and neediness." "He's my fiancé, Moryo. We're supposed to get married." "Well, maybe you're marrying the wrong person. Maybe he's meant to be with me." Kunal emerged from the bathroom. He looked between them and understood immediately. "Babe, I can explain." "Explain what?" Abeni's voice was cold. "That you're in love with my sister, that you've been sneaking around behind my back, that everything you told me was a lie." "It's not like that." "Then what is it like, Kunal? Tell me." He opened his mouth, but no words came out. Moryo stepped forward. "Abeni, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen, but we can't help how we feel." "How you feel?" Abeni laughed bitterly. "You feel entitled to everything I have. You always have." "That's not true." "Yes, it is. My clothes, my friends, my opportunities, and now my fiancé. When will it be enough, Moryo? When will you be satisfied?" "I'm not the problem here. You are. You're selfish and you don't appreciate what you have." "Get out." "What?" "Both of you, get out of my house." Kunal tried to approach her. "Please, let's talk about this." "There's nothing to talk about. I don't want to see either of you again." For the next week, Abeni played her role perfectly. She stopped eating. She lost weight. Her eyes were constantly red from crying. She ignored calls from Moryo and Kunal. She told her parents what had happened, breaking down in tears. Her mother was horrified. "Moryo did what? I need to talk to her." "No, Mama, please, I can't deal with this right now. I just need time." Her father was furious. He wanted to confront Kunal. Abeni begged him not to. "Let me handle this my own way," she pleaded. "Please." She let everyone see her pain. Her colleagues at work, her friends, her neighbors. Everyone thought Abeni was broken. No one suspected she was acting. After 2 weeks of silence, Moryo showed up at Abeni's door. "We need to talk," she said. Abeni let her in. She looked tired and defeated as she sat on the couch. "I've been thinking," Abeni said quietly, "about everything about us." "Abeni, I'm sorry, I really am." "Are you, or are you just sorry you got caught?" Moryo didn't answer. "Do you love him?" Abeni asked. "Yes, I know it's wrong, but yes." Abeni was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "If you love him, take him." "What?" "Take him, be with him. I don't want to fight my own sister over a man." "You mean that?" "I'm tired, Moryo. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of competing. If Kunal makes you happy, then be happy. I won't stand in your way." Moryo's eyes filled with tears. Thank you so much. I promise I'll make him happy. I'll treat him well." "I know you will." They hugged, and Abeni felt Moryo's relief. Her sister actually believed she had won. Within days, Moryo moved Kunal into her apartment. She posted pictures of them together. God works in mysterious ways. Sometimes blessings come from unexpected places. She bought him new clothes, took him to expensive restaurants, showed him off to everyone. Abeni watched from a distance, liking the posts, leaving supportive comments. "So happy for you, sis. You two look perfect together. Wishing you all the best." And she waited. Kunal, now comfortable in Moryo's life, began making requests. "Babe, I need money for a business deal. It's a sure thing. We'll make triple the investment. Moryo gave him 500,000 naira from her savings. The deal fell through. I need to fix my car. Can you help me out? Another 300,000 naira. The car was never fixed. My business partner needs capital. If we get this contract, we'll be set for life. Moryo borrowed money from friends, 1 million naira. There was no business partner, no contract. 2 months into their relationship, Moryo had spent over 3 million naira on Kunal. She started to worry, started to ask questions. Where is this money going, Kunal? Into the business, babe. These things take time. But we haven't seen any returns. You don't trust me. It's not about trust. I just want to understand. If you loved me, you wouldn't question me. So she stopped questioning and kept giving. By month 3, Moryo had taken out 2 loans, one from her bank, one from a loan app. Kunal needed money for equipment, for travel, for meetings, for opportunities that were always just one investment away from success. Moryo's savings were gone. She was owing 10 million naira. And Kunal was getting distant. He stayed out late. He didn't answer his phone. He was always too tired for conversation. Moryo called Abeni crying. I think something's wrong with Kunal. What do you mean? He's changed. He's not the same person. Abeni almost laughed. Maybe you're just stressed. You've been working so hard. Maybe you're right. But things got worse. Debt collectors started calling. Friends Moryo had borrowed from wanted their money back. The loan apps sent threatening messages. And then, on a Tuesday morning, Kunal was gone. His phone was off. His social media accounts were deleted. The few clothes he kept at Moryo's apartment were gone. He had vanished. Moryo called everyone. His friends didn't know where he was. His family said they hadn't heard from him in months. No one knew anything. She sat in her empty apartment surrounded by bills and debt and realized the truth. She had been scammed. For 3 days she didn't leave her house. She couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't think. Finally, she went to Abeni. She knocked on the door, her face swollen from crying. Abeni opened it and stepped aside without a word. Moryo collapsed on the couch. He's gone. I heard. I'm owing so much money, Abeni. I don't know what to do. The banks are threatening to take me to court. The loan apps are harassing me. My friends won't talk to me. How much do you owe? 12 million naira, maybe more. Abeni sat across from her. How did this happen? He said he needed money for business. I thought I was helping him. I thought we were building a future together. But you weren't. No, Moryo looked up, her eyes desperate. Please, Abeni, I need your help. I'll pay you back, I promise. Just help me get out of this debt. Abeni was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, No. What? I'm not helping you. But I'm your sister. And Kunal was my fiancé. Abeni's voice was calm, but that didn't stop you. Moryo's face crumpled. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I was wrong, I was stupid, please. I knew who Kunal was, Abeni said quietly. Moryo stopped crying. What? I knew exactly who he was, what he was. I don't understand. Abeni pulled out her phone and showed Moryo the screenshots. Articles about Kunal scamming other women, police reports, warnings from online forums. I knew before I even met him. Moryo stared at the phone, her face pale. You knew? Yes. Then why did you date him? Because I knew you would want him. Abeni's voice was steady. I dated him so you would take him. I played weak so you would think you had won. I let him hurt me so he could destroy you. The words hung in the air like poison. You set me up, Moryo whispered. You set yourself up. All I did was give you what you always wanted, something that was mine. But he ruined me. I'm destroyed. Yes, you are. Moryo stood up, her legs shaking. How could you do this? I'm your sister. And I was your sister every time you stole from me. Every time you took what was mine. Every time you convinced yourself you deserved my life more than I did. This is different. No, it's not. This is just the first time you faced consequences. I could go to jail. I could lose everything. Then you'll know how I felt watching you take everything from me for 26 years. Mario backed toward the door. You're evil. No, I'm tired. There's a difference. I'm still your sister. Family is supposed to forgive. Family is also supposed to respect boundaries, supposed to be happy for each other's success, supposed to love without competing. Ebony stood up. You taught me that family doesn't mean unconditional tolerance. Sometimes it means consequences. Mario left without another word. Ebony sat in the silence of her apartment. She didn't feel victorious. She didn't feel satisfied. She felt tired, but she also felt free. Over the next 6 months, Mario struggled. She worked 2 jobs to pay off her debts. She lost friends. She had to move to a cheaper apartment. Her pride was shattered. Their parents tried to reconcile the sisters. Family shouldn't hold grudges, their mother said. But Ebony was firm. I don't hold a grudge, I just know who Mario is now, and I choose to protect myself. She's learned her lesson, their father insisted. Maybe, but that's not my problem to fix. Slowly, Ebony rebuilt her life. She made new friends who valued her for herself, not for what they could get from her. She found a better job at a company that appreciated her skills. She dated carefully, learning to trust her instincts. And one day she met Chidi. He is a teacher, quiet and thoughtful. He didn't have a flashy car or designer clothes. He didn't make grand promises or sell dreams. He was just honest. They talked for hours about books and music and life. He made her laugh. He listened when she spoke. He respected her boundaries. When she told him about Mario, he didn't judge. Family is complicated, he said. Sometimes the people who should protect us are the ones who hurt us most. Do you think I'm wrong for what I did? Chidi thought for a moment. I think you protected yourself the only way you knew how. Whether that's right or wrong isn't for me to say, but I understand why you did it. That was enough. A year later, Mario reached out. She sent a message. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need to say this. I'm sorry, not just for Connell, for everything. For all the years I spent taking from you instead of being your sister. I understand now what I did, and I'm sorry. Ebony read the message 3 times. She didn't respond immediately. She thought about it for a week. Finally, she wrote back, I forgive you, but forgiveness doesn't mean things go back to how they were. I hope you've learned. I hope you're better now, but we can't have the relationship we once had. Maybe one day, but not now. Mario replied, I understand, thank you. They didn't become close again, but the hatred faded. Ebony focused on her life with Chidi. They moved in together. They talked about marriage, but there was no rush. They were building something real, something honest. One evening, Chidi asked her, do you regret it, what you did to Mario? Ebony thought about the question, really thought about it. No, she said finally. I regret that it had to happen. I regret that she pushed me to that point, but I don't regret protecting myself. For the first time in my life, I chose me, and that's not something I'll apologize for. Chidi kissed her forehead. Good. 2 years after the incident with Connell, Ebony saw Mario at a family gathering. Her sister looked different, thinner, tired, but there was something else in her eyes, something that looked like humility. They didn't talk much, just a polite greeting, a brief conversation about work. But there was no jealousy in Mario's eyes, no calculation, no desire to take. Maybe she had learned. Or maybe she was just too broken to try again. Ebony didn't know which, and she realized she didn't need to know. Her life was her own now, protected, valued, hers. As she left the gathering with Chidi's hand in hers, Ebony thought about everything that had happened. Some people don't steal because they're poor. They steal because they're jealous. And sometimes, the only way to stop them is to let them destroy themselves. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't kind, but it was effective. And in the end, that was all that mattered.